I got you, people. So I ran into this video, this particular young man by the name, the mass law student, right? Now, I don't know why does a law student has to wear a mask, but that's also his handle, the mass law student. I guess he studies law. I have no idea why the guy wears a mask to speak about law, right? Why would you want to wear a mask unless you're hiding something, unless you did bad deeds, you did something to someone that you don't want to be recognized, you know? Is you are a law-abiding citizen, since you're studying law, right? Let's use the word law-abiding citizen. That means you're a straight citizen and you obey the laws and you have nothing to hide, and you're not hiding for no one because you didn't do any wrongdoing to anyone, so you shouldn't be hiding behind a mask. So this particular young man, the mass law student, is kind of upset. I guess he has a chip on his shoulders that he thinks that people owe him an apology or shouldn't be so rejective to his opinion or his views because he feels down, or that other races have let him down, right? Because since being that he's black, right, or color, because you know anybody could be black, and anybody that's color is not only black, that means that everybody that's color is not white, so they color. So anything that's not white is color. So you could be black, brown, Chinese, that's it. The whole spectrum. As long as if you're not white, you color. That's it. So he's kind of feeling upset that certain people let his community down because they didn't agree on what he was pitching to his people and the Latino community and the brown community, and I guess the Puerto Rican communities, right? But the thing is that he's got to think that those days are the past and nobody wants to live in them days, and everybody have changed. We are not that simple people that think that we still ghetto, we still rappers, and we still gangsters. You know, if you have that mindset, you never gonna escape your chip on your shoulder that you have all this rejection on people that you think that you feel inferior. Nobody makes you inferior. You make yourself inferior. I know you know what inferior means, right? Because I have a habit of trying to have to explain to people because some people don't understand what inferior means. Inferior is when the person you speaking to you that is not scared of you, right? You yourself make yourself inferior when you don't put yourself in priority. You don't think you worth anything because you're always complaining. A person makes himself inferior when he thinks he cannot do nothing, that everybody got to follow him, and you cannot be a leader. You know, you put yourself inferior when you don't got no hope on yourself, that you always need people to follow you, to patronize you. That's another word. You know, people should be old enough to understand it. You don't understand the questions, you know, look it up, look up the meaning. So a lot of people need to be patronized, to feel good, right? To elevate themselves. They're not patronized, they feel down, low self-esteem. They don't achieve anything. All they do is complain. So I don't understand this, the mass law student, and what he's saying. He thinks just because Kamala Harris lost the election, that most blacks turned their back on Kamala Harris, and I guess himself, because I think he said they traitors to the race, and you should be, if you black, you should follow them no matter what. But things have changed. Nobody wants to be, like I said, hold on in the past. People want to elevate themselves and give their children an opportunity to move out of poverty, out of depression, right? Oppression, right? Have your next generation to excel, not to be trapped in the streets and have this ghetto mentality. How you gonna be 40 years old, 50 years old, and you still thinking you're a gangster? You know, that you're a street thug using words, and you think that everybody's got to kneel down to you just because you want to still live that lifestyle. No. The reason why she lost, because people are not a simple people anymore. People must work quiet, and when it came to election, they already had determined who to vote for, especially when she put on rappers, twerkers, and all them people. Like, she thinks that's all her people are, you know, rappers and thugs and booty shakers, you know. So we wasn't having that. Even the Latinos, we are out of the game, and we don't gang bang. We out of that. That's why most of the Puerto Ricans left the Bronx, the Spanish Harlem, and Barrio. Right? We excel. We left. We don't got time for that no more. We want to excel and give our generation an opportunity to do better. We don't stay in that mentality. That's why anybody that stood behind, that they couldn't make it, or they still want to be ghetto gangsters and want to be, you know, the man in the street. Those days are gone. Nobody lives that lifestyle no more. The only people that live that lifestyle are the people that think that you owe them something, that they feel themselves inferior, right? That's the problem. And so they always got a guilt trip. They're always blaming somebody else. But he said a lot of stuff. I don't remember everything, but I'm going to put a little clip of what he said so you can understand what he's saying. To me, I just think he's got a chip on his shoulders. He thinks that, you know, people got to respect a certain race because they did something. No, every race goes to a struggle. You know, your struggle is not everyone's struggle, even though they probably went through that struggle. But some people change and they do better for themselves, and they continue to do better. They don't complain and put themselves down and blame others and keep themselves down, and then you stay being a gangster, act ghetto, talk ghetto, dress ghetto. You know, you got to move on from that lifestyle. So I'm gonna put a little clip so you can understand what this young man is talking about.
Yo, I'm doing this close-up video because I'm about to get it popping in this video. Now, I gotta keep it real. I don't want to hear doves or people that look like doves talking horribly about the black community anymore. I don't want to hear it because doves and people that look like doves showed their behind during this election with electing you-know-who into office. So from this point on, it's like you guys really never had a right, because I truly believe that black and brown people have more that unites us than divides us. But for whatever reason, the Hispanic community, not all, because you got some people that's straight riders, they ain't on that race time. But unfortunately, you do have a lot of people in the Hispanic, Latino, etc. community that look down on the black community. They talk horribly about the black community, and they just speak straight up disrespectful. And it's not just doves or people that look like doves. On my job, right? It's the same racial politics that you have in the prisons in California with, the brown and white linking up to go against the blacks. It's the exact same way with the COs, the white and Hispanic COs. They link up and they go against the blacks. And you can go on my YouTube channel or on my TikTok videos and just look for certain videos where I talk about the different racial politics, in California, and it never fails. People that, present themselves, or I presume to be Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, etc., they talk so disrespectful about the black community until it ain't even funny. But I'm going to tell you what, man, after this election, it was very, very revealing, because Because the constant thing, right? And although when I do these prison videos and I talk about the race politics and stuff, even though some of the people, you know, they might have the intent to just talk about black inmates and black inmate politics, the stuff that they say, it bleeds over, and it's like this broad brush that just encompasses the entire black population, whether you're inside or on the streets. And let me tell you, right, we found out in this election that, and I gotta keep it real, man, because, man, I've been dealing with this disrespect for a long time, and just keep it real. A lot of the Hispanics, Latinos, Mexicans that voted, we saw the numbers, they voted against their own people, right? They voted to destroy their own communities. And whenever you look at the different clips, or when you hear different people that look like doves talking about the black community, they always talk about, oh, you know, they're divided, and, you know, they don't get along, and, you know, they let all the bad people with bad paperwork come on the yard, all these different things. But when you get down to the baseline of it, or when you get down to the foundation, it's like they're speaking. They're not all, because there's a lot of Hispanics that ride with black. So I'm not, you know, saying that everybody. I'm just talking about, based on the numbers, that there was a overwhelming number that voted for you know who. So let me just get that straight. But when they talk about black folks, black inmates, whatever, it's from this position that they are superior and that we are inferior. But again, now, before the election was done, a lot of us that grew up in the streets, and we know what time it is, we know that, you know, the Hispanics are brown and black. We have more that unites us than divides us. But for whatever reason, there's this rift. And I'm keeping it real. Just, you know, if you look at some of these videos, you will see the way they talk about black folks, it is horrible. But I don't want to hear about it no more. You know?
So you seen the video. Looks like the mass law student is stuck in prison lifestyle. You know, he's thinking prison politics, that prison politics doesn't work out here in civilian life. People out here work for a living, you know. Gangsters don't work for a living. You know, they get every handout of a civilian taxpayer's money, and you go to jail, you get 3 meals a day. When the taxpayer here can't eat 3 meals a day because he's busy paying your meals out in prison. You got to stop thinking that everybody's against you, yo. You need to know how to have a conversation with people instead of thinking that everybody's racist just because they don't fit into your agenda, or they don't support your views, your ideas. That's the way it is. I learned how to take criticism. Before, I don't want to hear something that was not into my liking or into my view. You know, I would start fighting, but it didn't get me nowhere. You need to have how to have a dialogue, have a conversation with people instead of talking slang, street language. Those days are over. The mass student lawsuit.